political message, empathy message, or moral message. I can see that. So I would actually kind of segue this in the Squid Games, because there's actually something similar to that in Squid Games where, spoiler alert, they play the games again. And if you guys...
What?
Yeah, I know. Crazy. Wow. If you guys remember from the first one, after every game is played, they can do a vote to whether to continue games or not. There was a group of 5 people. They trusted each other. They all said, let's fucking end these games. As they were all going up, one of them said, no, let's continue. And that person that said, no, let's continue was really close with one of the little girls that didn't want to continue. And when she was walking back, the little girl starts crying, like freaking out. She's just like, I just don't want to do this. Like, I'm scared. This is awful. Like, I shouldn't have been here in the first place. My life's just awful. Just crying, tears. And she's like, why would you do that? Like, I thought we trusted you, blah, blah, blah. Next game, little girl dies. And I feel like that's kind of a message where it's showing, like, even the people who are have nothing to fight for, have no voice, are too scared, have literally no say in anything, will still get fucked over and still have a bad ending. And with James Gunn's case, as you guys are saying, like, he could maybe revive, I could see this being her part. Like, if she does come back, if she's revived, or maybe for another character, that her whole point of being useless is what makes them more motivated to do what they're doing. Because, like, dude, somebody who has no say in this, no fight in this, doesn't even want to be a part of it, gets the worst kind of punishment out of it. And it's kind of at least morality message that I can see in those kind of things, especially with James Gunn, when he tells in all his movies. And Squid Game, the whole thing about it is morality and capitalism. Yeah. But that's just kind of something I could do.
Even then, that's like not even, it's the Gohan complex also, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't fight for nothing, what are you fighting for then?
Yeah.
But it's like, again, some people, a
good report card.
Shut up. But like, it's not, you shouldn't punish people for being pacifists.
No,
it's okay to not want to fight.
No, and
that's
okay.
what these stories.
That's why you should watch Hacksaw Ridge.
These stories kind of perpetuate that. Like, if you're not fighting for nothing, you are just doomed to die, or you're doomed to fail. But like, sometimes it's okay to not always, as a person who's constantly fighting. I would like to be more pacifistic sometimes, because I'm always fighting and arguing and standing up and. You know what I'm saying? So those people who are the voice of reason, or just like, why are we doing this? It's needed. And sometimes we need to listen to those people a little bit more. But like, for them, just like, okay, you're doomed to die every time. That's, I don't know.
Well, look at
kind of sucks.
The Captain Erwin speech with Attack on Titan. I actually re-listened to it today. He, like, all the soldiers that were like, he was telling them, we got to go, we're going to die. All of them said, what the fuck? Why? Like, I could just run. Like, I don't have to take this on. I could just run, because I'm not going to make a difference. What he was telling them is, but what about all the other people that died? All the people who have already died. The courageous fallen, the people who are like, yeah, I want to fight for this. And then he also mentions the anguished fallen, the people who are part of it because they're forced into it and don't want any part of it. And they have died.
So depressed.
And so he's like, now us going out, knowing we're going to die is not for nothing. Even if we are going to make a little bit of a difference, we're not doing this for nothing. And a character like, what's her name? Nina. And the character from Squid Game.
Respect on Nina's name.
Yeah, my bad.
No, you don't have to, because she's dead.
You better leave her alone. That fish girl needs love.
But that's what I mean. Like, those characters, they didn't contribute anything. They were something that didn't make a difference, whether good or bad, and they still had the worst outcome. And I don't see it as, if you don't do anything, you are going to perish. I see it as something can happen to anybody, no matter what. Whether you are pushing for it, pushing against it, or just in between, you can get fucked in all facets.
That's like Marco.
Polo?
Yeah.
Marco didn't really do anything. He was just there.
I didn't even know
he was there to be a loss.
And he ended up being a integral point. Like, throughout the whole show, he was brought up almost all the time. But what about Marco? Marco died, and he was a character that, like you said, nobody gave a shit about. He didn't contribute anything.
Most of them didn't do anything. But I mean, like, the thing about it is, like, in reality, whether you're talking about in like these shows, or if you're talking about Squid Games, is a little bit different, but not really, because like, if you're in reality, everything is connected. Everyone is connected. So whether you choose to fight or not, you're going to be affected by the results of this thing.
Yep.
Like whether even if you like, so if they ran an Attack on Titan, they would have died. They did die. They were going to die. If they stayed in the village, they would die.
Yeah.
So you like, no matter what, like you can't really control what's going to happen, but like something is going to happen. Like whether, so you're really just choosing whether you're involved in what happens or not.
Yeah.
Cause I haven't seen this, but like, I don't know, like in this situation, like something was going to happen.
Well, yeah. So like what it was is they needed her to kill Ileana was her name,
And
and
that's her name. Yeah.
yeah, the queen, and she was swimming, and they were like, we can't get to her in the water without alerting all the guards. And Nina, a fucking fish, so they're like, you got to
Maybe
get
it's
her.
woman.
Yeah, so they're like, you got to go get her. Like, so, but she was like, I don't have it in me to kill someone. And the reason why they have to kill this princess, which we did not tell anybody, was because Circe is a clairvoyant, and she had a future, like a prediction of the future, where this girl takes over the entire planet and kills everyone.
Ileana?
Yes, and she was like, now Circe is a villain. But Circe was like, I still can't let that happen. She was like, I'm not that much of a villain. She goes, I just want to rule Themyscira. She goes, I don't want the world to be destroyed. Yeah. So Amanda Waller was like, bet, yeah, we'll send everybody there to kill her. And then someone else on the team was like, he had fucked her and was like, yeah, we can't kill her because now he got a crush on her. So
Simp.
the team is going to kill her, and he is trying to find a way to not kill her. So he finds out Clayface killed the doctor that confirmed Circe being a clairvoyant, and then took over because Clayface is a shapeshifter. So then they were like, it's a trap. Circe is setting up a trap. So then as soon as they're about to go kill old girl, as soon as Nina's coming up from the water to stab her while she's doing backstrokes, Weasel, of all people, was playing fetch with this girl. So he's like, nah, I can't let you kill my girl. She's playing fetch with me. That's the homie. Now, if you watch his episode early on, though, you get it because everyone who, like all the kids that were playing fetch with him when he was, playing fetch, they all got murdered in a fire. So he's kind of like, yo, I don't want another person who I played fetch with to get murdered.
Ileana looks like the white girl that used to play fetch with him.
Looks just like her. So he startles her.
Blonde
She
white girls.
sees Nina. Nina gets startled. They're underwater. Nina drops the blade. Old girl grabs the blade and then just.
And then you know what's crazy? Because she's a princess. You know how much like torque it takes. I guess torque is the word. I don't know. But how much pressure you are underwater to like for you to like be able to. It's hard to move a knife so swift underwater.
Yeah, she did that shit
And
like butter.
She did that shit like it was like air.
Yeah. And then they
That's
show her
training.
eyes.
You
Like
have to
her
be learned.
eyes. Yeah. Her eyes are glowing with just like.
I know what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rage. Like,
But
Like
the
shit.
thing about Nina being actually important is because after all that's done, Amanda Waller, who's leading the team, was like, yo, we fucked up. Like Clayface set us up. Seriously set us up. They're under the impression they got set up. And then everything's done. Bride is like, I'll be right back. I'm going to go say what up to Ileana right quick. I'll be right back, y'all. So she goes into her room. Ileana signing some shit.
for the record, we do not know if Ileana is her name.
Yeah.
We're assuming Ileana.
I forget what her fucking
Forgot
name is. I don't fuck with her. But she's like signing some paperwork and shit like that. And Bride's like, it's kind of weird, how all this played out. And she was like, yeah, it just, worked out for the best, I guess. And Bride was like, because I seen that picture of you with Clayface. She goes, so it makes sense that if the clairvoyant, the professor that solidified the clairvoyant was the real one, and then you killed her to make it look like she wasn't the real one at the time. She goes, that would make sense. And the girl was like, okay. And she goes, but I'm going to kill you right now. She goes, but not to save the world, not because you fucked us over, but because you killed the only friend I ever had. And then she pulled her gun out and shot her straight in the head.
Damn.
Blew her shit back.
Again.
But not to save the world, but because she killed her only friend.
But let me, I want to again say.
Freezer.
They fridge the shit out of her. They fridge the shit out of Nina.
Yeah.
But this is not saying that this show is not good.
No,
it's
great.
just in the context of it being James Gunn's show. written and directed, and following up Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, and all fucking Guardians of the Galaxy multimedia franchise, it literally hits the same notes.
Well, that's how I feel about Squid Games.
Yeah, talk about it.
Like that's how I felt
Talk
about,
about it.
That's how I felt about Squid Games. Like Squid Games was fine, but it was just like I wouldn't say it was bad, but it wasn't like fresh.
I feel like no one's really talked about how good it is either. Like unlike the first season, people were raving on that first season,
Because season one was different.
Season 1 was like a something new.
but like no
This
one's really
was like-
talking about it now.
This was like really in the same vein, and I don't know. Like it was just I don't know.
They were like, I remember like, oh yeah, new season of Squid Games. That's it. That's all I heard. Haven't heard shit since.
For me, I really, really, really liked it because of I actually liked it because I thought it was going to be like a kind of a cookie cutter situation. Kind of going to get into a little bit of spoilers. I'm not going to spoil too much, but
Oh, we're spoiling it. Fuck it.
yeah, let's go to all the way to the
I don't
end.
give a fuck.
Literally spoiled a 6-episode fucking cartoon for the
Yeah, that's
biggest
true. That's
media
true.
franchise in the world. Who gives a shit?
So in this one, it starts off with him, the winner of the last one. Just all he wants to do is find the dude who's playing the games to try to get to the master, end the games. That's his whole shtick. There's the cop guy still going, trying to find the island where his brother was. That's the whole kind of storylines that are going on. Anyways, he works with this mafia to try to find them, to try to find the guy. They end up finding the guy. Two of the people that were working with the old winner follows the suit dude, but then the suit dude captures them, makes them play rock, paper, scissors, kills one of them, and then he goes to the main winner. So now, you guys remember the suit guy who played the game. So now he's there with the winner from the first game. Sing Young, I think that's his name. I can't remember, but I'm just going to say main character to make it easier. Yep, main character. They're having a talk. He's pretty much like, just take me to your boss. You're just a dog. And he's like, yeah, well, you're just a fucking piece of shit too. Here, let's play Russian roulette. And then they play Russian roulette. It's a great fucking scene. Oh, yeah. It's actually a really good fucking scene because it gets down to the last bullet because he's like, let's make this interesting. Let's fill it up with 5 bullets out of 6 rounds and let's keep going. Oh, no. I think it was have the one, and instead of after every shot, like spinning it, you just do one and then go to the next. So no matter what, by the 5th one, and then the suit dude gets it where he knows he has the bullet, and then the main character's like, yeah, well, fuck it, like you just lost your own game. You actually are a dog. You're not gonna do it because of this. And so he like, great character face, like kind of realizing what he's doing, and then he's like, well, just let you know, like you're still just a useless fucking piece of shit that can never do anything in life, and just kills himself. Now the whole plan from here is to, now the main character's working with the cop who's trying to find his brother. They end up coming together. It's 3 of them, so it's 3 people. Their whole plan is to put a chip in the main character's tooth so that he goes back to the games and they will track him. Turns out he goes to the club, blah, 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 shit happens. He gets knocked out. He's in a limo. Now he's with the dude from the other game, like the boss guy. He's like, oh, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm trying to stop you. And he's like, well, how are you going to fucking stop me? And he's like, with guns, I'm going to fucking stop it. And he's like, well, how's that going to work out for you? You want to be a hero? It's not going to fucking work out. He's like, yeah, well, I do want to be a hero. Let's play your games. He's like, all right, let's play. Right when he gets there, they're tracking the GPS. They find an island. It's just a fisherman there, and there's the chip. When he's playing the game, like when he first gets out, he's like, he checks his tooth, sees that it's not there, and he's like, I'm fucked. So now he's playing the game again, forcefully. And in this time, since he knows how to play the games, he's like yelling, telling everybody, hey, stop. No, like we got to do this. The first game they played was red light, green light. And that was actually really fucking cool because at this point, nobody believes that they're going to die. But right before the game starts, he comes out and he's yelling, everybody, do as I say or you will die. I'm not kidding. And everybody's like, this fucking guy. And so they do red light. They're all going. And right when they say red light, he's like, stop. Like he is at the top of his lungs. freeze, do not make a move. I'm telling you what you do not make a move. And every time he's like covering his mouth so they don't do motion detection, and it's actually going really good. It's like a war scene, like green light, go run. They all start running. He's staying behind because he wants nobody to die. And then one person, like they're all staying still, B comes around, person's like, B, boom, head goes off. And then everybody looks around, they all start running, they all start running, getting shot. He's just sitting there staying still. Freeze, I'm fucking telling you now, please stop. And they're all just getting gunned down, shot, fucked up. And then at the end, when they all get to the finish line, somebody gets shot in the leg, but they're not killed. So he's like, he's finished. He goes back to pick him up, does the thing, second left, saves them. They're like, yeah, yeah. And then he just gets fucking taken out right then and there. And it's from a shooter that is part of the masked people. I did forget to mention there's a third storyline going on of this girl who just has a fucking awful life. She's that shooter. And her thing is she wants the people dead. Because what they actually want to do is they want them half alive so they have organs so they can sell it. But her job was told, no, you got to put them out of their misery. So she's doing as she's told. But the people that are part of it go up there and be like, what the fuck you doing? You're fucking with our business. You're going to fuck this shit up. We're going to fucking kill you. And so now there's a subplot of the masked people, like somebody infiltrated that. And now from there, they're like, all right, you played this game before. What do we do in the second game? They did a vote, actually. The vote can end up coming to a tie. The last person to vote to make it go further was actually the boss, the dude from the first one. He's now part of the games. And everybody's now asking, hey, what's the second game? If you know shit, what's the second game? He's like, it's the game where it's the cookie and you gotta cut it out. Once they get in there, it's not the same game. So everybody's like, fuck you, we don't give a shit what you say. And now from here, they're just there's the people trying to find the island. They find another island they think is the right one. It's booby trapped. So now they realize that the game is on them. The main character is like, all right, I don't know what the fuck we can do. So the only thing we can do now is to try to get their guns and we have to fight ourselves. And they're like, no, you can't do that. We're fucking outnumbered. And he's like, well, what the fuck else are we supposed to do? Like, come on. And so they did a vote. Vote goes through. They do some more games. The games are really cool. There's a lot of really interesting characters in it. I actually really fuck with the characters heavy. Like there's one dude, his name is Thanos. And
Man,
he's the most cringy piece of shit.
He's a real Korean actor who was blackballed for smoking weed in his house.
Dude, he looks like
rapper,
that.
yeah.
He looks like that type of fucking
But he got
dude.
blackballed for smoking weed in Korea.
I fucking love this character. He was like, what he was going for, he nailed. Because yeah, fuck him.
He's
fucking
the
annoying,
worst.
cringy,
Oh my
and
fucking God.
you
He
just
keeps
wanted to
speaking
fucking-
English.
Oh, and it's so fucking hilarious when he does. Oh, I fucking love him as a character. Like what the actor did was great. He fucking killed it. But
So what would you guys overall?
My only problem, because as it all goes on, I'm fucking with it heavy.
Mhm.
Like so they make the
How many episodes is this?
6. And
I thought it was like 8.
It's 7 or 8.
okay,
Yeah.
7 or 8. I ended up losing track because I thought it was gonna be like 10. But they start going like, all right, now the whole plan is, all right, now we got to fight back. They knock out some of the guards, get guns, make them go off. Now you got a little team of people that are like, all right, who knows how to use a gun here? Everybody get up. And they make a really, really, really big emphasis on this whole scene when there's all guns going on ammo. And I actually really like that. Where it is a main thing where they're every single time they kill somebody, they're like, get his ammo. Hey, you got to go get your magazine.
As you
I'm
should.
out of ammo. I fuck with that heavy.
That's one of the biggest complaints when you watch movies.
Exactly, I know.
Like watch a John Wick movie and see how many times they fucking reload a
they
gun.
make this specific. And so there's this huge, awesome scene of
Funny
like
'cause,
6 of
they
them.
don't have guns.
What was that?
The guns are illegal in Korea. Like,
Oh, yeah, I know. I was actually very surprised.
so like, how do you know?
Yeah.
Well, some of them were Marines.
Yes.
Oh,
That
okay.
was the big thing. There's actually a trans Marine in there, and it's like a whole kind of shtick.
See, America, it's not just.
No, wait.
Okay.
She decided she wanted to transition. When she decided she wanted to transition and come out that she was a woman, they fired her from her job. She was a sergeant in the Marines.
And she lost like everything.
But didn't they hire just a regular male actor to play
Yeah.
her? So
Yeah.
they didn't even hire a trans actor to play
Well, the whole
trans character.
and the another thing is there was a scene where they were playing the games and he like his part was he was supposed to kick something and kick it away and he told everybody to look away and then there's a grandma character in it and at the beginning they're like she's like because it's with her son she's like what is that person like oh I think it's a guy that just wants to be a girl you know it's happening nowadays and she's like that's weird and then after that game the old lady goes up to him and be like well why do you do that why'd you make us look away and he's like well my procedure's not done yet so he's saying she still has a dick at the moment and doesn't want people to like see it and know it and it's kind of it's a running thing that like she is the most mentally there person like ready to do anything when the guns happened she came up and was like all right everybody you know how to use guns you know how to use magazines you know how to get this shit right blah 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 but at the end of the day she still wants to be identifying as a woman and says that's liberating for me whether people push me back or I lose all this or that so her point was she wanted to win the money move to Thailand and just live out her life there what was the point of that?
You said you were going to what you didn't like about it.
Oh yeah, all right. What I did,
So, yeah.
it was a trans person. That's what I didn't. Great show, but they had a trans person.
Trans exclusionary. This man is not a. This man is a turf.
Yeah.
Trans exclusionary feminist.
But no, the thing that I didn't like about it was I was actually like I liked it so much. I was so invested into it that by the end, when they're shooting, they're fighting back. It's really cool. They have to tell somebody go get back their ammo. They're going back. They're doing all this cool shit, and then the climax comes where the boss who was playing the games the whole time ends up coming out, and he's like, "Yep." Well, no, he doesn't come out and say, "Yeah, I've been playing the whole time," but he like comes back as the boss, and then he's like, "All right, well, did you like playing a hero?" And then he kills his friend right in front of him, and that's how the season ends. So I'm sitting here like,
No.
what?
Yeah, I was pissed. It could have been one season. They broke it up into two. The next season comes out this year, so it's like
oh, so it's not even done.
It's not even done.
they could have just been like season two part one,
and
season 2 part 2, like they did with fucking Stranger Things. But instead they're like season 2, we're gonna end it on like the biggest cliffhanger in the
middle of
world.
a
It was the
cliffhanger.
climax. Like I didn't even feel like I was invested as it was all going on. I'm like, I'm liking this. There wasn't a part where I'm like, oh, this is great. This is amazing. I'm like, oh, this is building up. Once it got to that part, I'm like, all right, here we go. This is when shit gets good. Last episode.
So for me, I liked it, but so one, if you guys couldn't tell by now, it really bothers me when illogical things happen in shows. And to me, it was very illogical that this nigga wouldn't question who number one was.
Bro,
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Because I watched up to episode 4.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Even if you're gonna be naive about it and you're gonna say, okay, no, in the first one, he finds out at the end that number one was behind everything to begin with.
You know,
Number one was this very old man, and like he was running the whole fucking thing. So he finds out that afterwards, that's why he got so mad, and then he wanted to go back because he realized the whole thing was like some fucking charade and like whatever. So why wouldn't you question number one when you come back, and especially given everything that even if you don't know, you're not suspicious at all. Number one was the reason why you guys got stuck here again. He was the tiebreaker. Number one was the reason that you're still here.
And like you gave him at the end like the biggest responsibility.
You gave him, bro. Not even just that. Okay, so you wouldn't even get to the end. Like I feel like with any person who's not a fucking idiot, you wouldn't even get to the end because okay. So one, just the fact that you've been here before, you already knew that number one in the last one was up to some fuck shit. You found that out last time. So that would automatically make me question number one. So like I feel like the logical thing to do in this situation would be if you were the people that run the games, you also know that he won the game. So put this player in a different number, but they put him as number one. And then you came back to the game, you saw that this was number one. You're not a little suspicious of that. One, then he shows up as a tiebreaker to keep you in the game, to interfere with what you're trying to do. He is the one that stops you. Okay. But let's just, okay, fine. But then your best friend keeps fucking bringing up, I'm kind of scared of this guy. Later on, he's like, there's something off about this guy. Number one, there's something off about number one. Even if you don't know what it is, that didn't trigger anything in your fucking brain. Like,
I have a theory on that.
Bro, there was no way. Like, you should be, if you're going to re-enter this situation, if you're going to re-enter this situation, you should be looking for signs of like what you've already been through. Why would that not be something that you're
My
looking at?
theory. So like the first few episodes, my whole thing was, what can I be invested in? Him trying to figure out the island and stop it. Like, I felt like there had to been some smart stuff going on there other than just guns blazing, let's kill everybody. My theory is he knows it's him. I think he knows the whole time. My why is, so they did the little part where he called him his name. And he's like, how do you know my name? And he's like, oh, I just heard somebody say it. I feel like maybe it was right there he might have found out. Now, I think that's why he gave him the biggest job to test it, to see if he's really is with us, then he will kill those guys, will be good. If he's not with us, this whole thing's going to go down right here. Letting his best friend die, I don't think he gave a shit enough shit about his best friend, because when they did the votes, his best friend did continue the game once, and his whole reason was like, I really need the money, we just need to do it just one more time, I really need the money. And as we know, the main character knows, like, you are the fucking problem, you're the reason, you are making, you doing that is saying you don't care if I die. That's what he told me. He's like, what if I die? What if you die? And then even in the hallway at the end of the scene, he was like, no, Guillaume, don't die. And then the main character was like, no, I'll make sure I outlive you. I think. And then before that, when the boss told him, he was like, so you want to make a sacrifice to, like, for the greater good? He told him, he's like, if we don't make this sacrifice, we'll have to make a bigger sacrifice. And I think he knows, I'm gonna have to sacrifice my friend, because my friend's willing to kill me.
The problem with that, though, is that he had no way of knowing or controlling what was gonna happen if that backfired. So he could have been the one to get killed. Like, in that situation, he didn't know that he was gonna kill his friend.
In all fairness, the show is about gambling, though.
That's the
It is, but that's what I'm saying. Like even still, like,
I feel like he just has no choice.
That didn't give him any route to complete what he was trying to do. Like, even finding that out doesn't do anything for the end goal. Like,
I think once the GPS was gone, he was generally just like, I got like anything.
I don't know, like, maybe, but like at the same time, I just, like, I don't see how that could play out towards the end goal. Like, him knowing who the guy is, and then even still, I think maybe subconsciously he knows who the guy is, because there was when he had that dream, he was the only one. Yeah. Like, the body language of the boss guy, even like as a player, there was something different about him. Like, he was just looking at him like this. Like, so subconsciously he knew. I think subconsciously he knows who that guy is.
I just think,
but like at the same time, I'm just like, I don't know, like, bro, like, everything to me was like, this is the thing. This is why I said it's the same thing as Creature Commandos to me. Like, story wise, it didn't hit really on anything new. Like yeah, and even new for the trope. Like, even like that the trans thing. The trans thing is like cookie cutter heartwarming. So much so that it's not heartwarming. Like, I knew where you were going. Like, with every single aspect of this, I knew where they were going. Like with the fisherman, I'm like,
I didn't see that coming.
I saw that coming.
I did. He was, like, being weird.
Not even him being weird.
I didn't even know.
You've been searching for this island for however long, and there's an island that you haven't checked, and the only person, like, this guy is who's steering the boat. Obviously, if there's a spy, it's the nigga who steers the boat. Like, if there's a spy, it's the person who could prevent you from reaching the island. Yeah. What the fuck? Like, that's fucking obvious to me. The fucking shit with the trans thing was very fucking, like, I knew where they were going with that. It was like, okay, this is the only person who's different. Yes, they're going to like emphasize that, and then some people are going to come around. There are going to be people who accept her off the rip. Like, I fucking know where you're going. And then like the thing about like the fisherman thing pissed me off. The thing about number one pissed me off because I'm like, this feels very obvious, and obviously he's not gonna let himself die. Like, he's not gonna let himself die. The people know who he is. Like, the players know who he is. That part where he fucking ran off, he saved the people and then he ran off, like in that like merry-go-round type game where they had to go run inside the doors. This nigga could have just ducked off anywhere. Like, this nigga was like, all right, I'm about to go chill for a minute.
Well, I do think he had a genuine, like, to play the games. I think he only joined it to sway the vote, but I think he genuinely was like, I want to have some fun.
He's like,
I
fuck
do
it.
want to have some fun.
I don't think some of the guards knew he was in the game, because when they go and they break in and they're going in and they have the one guy and he's like, you need a mask. And like, he looks at him and he goes, and then he gets killed right after that.
Yeah,
Like, he was so shocked to even see him there. Like, he didn't even realize he was in the game.
I just see it turning out.
but that's what I'm saying. They know who he is.
Yeah,
Once they
but-
saw his face, he was like, oh shit.
it might be certain people. Like, I feel like certain people know who he is.
That
than
kid was a
others.
grunt.
No, that's what I. Well,
Like-
like he recognized him, but didn't like. I don't think he knew he was going to be a player though. Maybe some of them did. Like the dude in the black might known, but I feel like some of them, at least, like didn't know until they saw him. Like the people playing the games were like, "Oh yeah, that's the fucking."
Yeah, yeah,
player.
no, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're saying like they didn't know ahead of time that he
Yeah,
was
like
going
not
in the game.
every single person.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think so, but like even still, like they knew who he was, and then they didn't show him going into a pod for a reason. Like, so that means to me that
They got a
shows
pod?
to me that shows that he just ducked off somewhere. So those people at least did know who he was. But like, to me, it was like very obvious. And then like when they were like, his friend was literally saying, that guy's fucking weird.